Hi Virgo, this is your October 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun, rising, moon in the sign, this is your reading. And it's Romy here. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Okay, we're going to open up this month with the Two of Cups. You know, sometimes things don't make sense in the world. A lot doesn't make sense. A lot perhaps is not making sense in your world either. I think some seasons feel like they are breaking us, and the truth is that they're breaking us open so that we can become more and that we have more capacity to love, to hold space, to find compassion and forgiveness, to express our true self and to really become. And I think that this is such a phase of your becoming, and I really feel the representation of the Two of Cups is just about falling back in love with taking care of you, your needs, your wants, your desires, and deeply reflecting on the relationships around you. We're in Libra season. We're going to open up the month with this new moon eclipse in the sign. And, you know, Black Moon Lilith, asteroid goddess, is quite strongly activated around this eclipse. And so there's quite a lot of very primal emotions that are coming up to the surface and being triggered. And, you know, that can affect us deeply. So perhaps where once there was harmony and balance, if there has been any imbalance, or if you are in a deep place of reevaluation with regards to conscious connections in your world, you know, there's a lot to unpick, you know, coming up through the course of this season. And remember, this is a second house energy for you, so it's also about the value of you. And I think perhaps one of the things going on for you in October is this realization that, you know, we can't really split ourselves into enough pieces to satisfy everybody, you know, including ourselves. And so perhaps this is a time where you need to lead from strength in terms of serving your needs, taking care of you, nourishing and rejuvenating, you know, and addressing the things that have been perhaps put to the back burner for some time, but you can't move forward without it, right? So we've got the Chariot here that wants you to move forward, because actually the energy in October is incredibly compelling. It's powerful, it's potent, and it's really pulling you in this compelling way. And it's just like, where are you trying to get to? What direction are you headed in? You know, time is truly a gift. And this month you are assessing how you are spending it. Our soul is eternal, but our physical body is here fleetingly, right? There may be going on, looking at these two, the consideration of how you move forward with something that matters, someone that matters. And again, a lot of reevaluation going on early on in October. I'm going to call out some nice dates where Venus is trining with Saturn on the 4th, with Mars on the 8th and Neptune on the 15th, just creating perhaps more favorable conditions to be able to, you know, see the wood for the trees, frankly, and just kind of get a true read on something, or have that kind of an energy where it's a bit easier to bring things up or to positively impact on plans and movement. Now, Jupiter is going retrograde in Gemini on the 9th. And, you know, this is your 10th house. So there's somewhat of a retraction. It may feel like you are taking some time to take a step back and look at, you know, what's gone on since Jupiter moved into the sign earlier this year. We've got the Three of Coins here. It's positive. It just feels like an assessment of how you want to continue building or continue forging ahead in your career, your work, or how you're showing up to things, you know, in the community, how people are perceiving you, reputation, public image, all of these things. Remember, Jupiter retrograde is the opportunity to assess that internal expansion, you know, and remember, it's always gonna, with its focus, highlight things that are like ready for growth. That's what I'm saying. Like, sometimes when we're going through these seasons that feel like in some way, shape or form they're kind of breaking us, they're really just breaking us open because we've outgrown something. We've outgrown something to the degree that there's no way back. We can't fit back into the old version of ourselves or the old aspect of our life. And then it gets a bit messy, right? Because we're like, okay, the new thing hasn't shown up yet, or I'm not quite clear. There's still some uncertainty or unknown. And so it can leave us in that sort of no man's land or slight void energy or the in-between. And one of the things I've been saying about this month is it's like if you can reassess the value that you put on the in-between, I think that's going to help enormously. It's like the reframe to say, okay, I may not be where, I want to be at this moment, or where I think I'm being, directed, or where my future plans are sort of being highlighted on the horizon. But in this moment, at this time, how can I find grace? How can I hold the most amount of gratitude and really allow myself to look at the aspects that are serving and working for me? And that reprioritization and valuing of where you are automatically feels like it improves the value that you feel you have to give and your sense of self-respect. And therefore, you are then leaning into the light and the higher side of that second house through Libra energy, right? Now, Pluto goes direct in Capricorn on the 11th. We talked about that last month. This is the firm sort of drawing of a line, something waking up and sort of shifting again in your world to be, considered thoughtfully between now and November. And you'll just be really feeling like that. It's this sort of end of an era type of an energy going on. Yeah, we've got the energy of death. It comes through and it's often uncomfortable. It can be sudden, but I feel like this is almost like a slow death that's happened. It's like, you're aware of this part of you that's just been breaking down. And, at times that can feel excruciating, but it's also deeply transformative. And you can see all the cracks in the pavement here, but more light is shining through, and all of the flowers that are starting to seed and come up through those cracks. It's just a reminder that whatever you've been through, whatever you're going through, there's such beauty in terms of like what it holds and how it's shaping you and how you're going to look back on it. And this is why I'm saying, not only is time as a gift, not only does it matter that you are taking October to really be gentle and kind and compassionate and come back into harmony with yourself, that you actually surrender in to the way in which you're also being guided. Otherwise, the struggle's going to feel at times quite overwhelming, right? I feel like it's a reminder as well, sometimes when we've got these like super strong desires, right? Mercury in Scorpio on the 13th, Venus in the sign as well. We're going to be coming into the season later this month. And when we've got these really strong desires, we become acutely aware of how far away we are from them, right? Five of Coins suggests that there's a vulnerability, perhaps, a feeling of some sort of scarcity or lack, or something that was there and now gone, or the perceived loss of something. You might be leaning into what you think the change is going to mean for you. Okay, sometimes the desires that we have that are so strong because there's a version of us that has already been activated and living out that reality, right? This is where we get to revisit the idea of how quantum jumping can support us. We connect to that part of ourselves, that version of ourselves that's already done it, that's been through everything that has come up in order to get us to that point. I think that can provide a lot of solace and peace and strength actually for you. And I think the other thing that's important to recognize when we have an energy like the five coming through here, they always present a challenge in some way, shape or form, but they can also highlight to us something that's been overlooked or, not acknowledged and needs to be dealt with. And I think, again, this is why I return to, if you get that harmony and balance back within the value of you, it's going to mean that you change your perception changes as to how you think something is there or not there. Do you know what I mean? It's like the lack and the scarcity can absolutely be amplified when we feel exposed or vulnerable, because we're frankly like malnourished, like energetically we might be super depleted, we've not given ourselves time to have that that real realization of what our mind, body and soul is asking for us, right? And in that moment, if you hit that energy, what I'm going to say to you is like, look to the higher self, look to the inner child, look to the loved ones in spirit, the people that would say, this is what they want for you. This is what they wish for you. This is how they see you. This is what you truly are. And take energy from that, take strength from that, take what you need from the kind of the knowledge and the messages and the downloads, because that's what's going to be coming through. Remember, we're in October, the veil is at its thinnest, so you can connect into your soul family, the spirit world, more powerfully. at this time of year. You just have to be super mindful of protecting your energy field also. Now, Mercury in Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, and remember it's your third house, is really powerful in terms of the charismatic quality of what you have to say and how you have to say it. You know, you attract people in. You've got Empress energy here, right? And she's actually turning away from that that perceived loss, because she's being reminded of actually who she is, the abundance with which she sits in, the gratitude, the grace, you know, and the seasons and the cycles. Like I said, some seasons feel like they're breaking us, but actually the truth is they're breaking us open so we become more. And you can see that what the flowers were that were coming through the cracks are now into a full blossom. So there's a realization that what's happening for you right now, you know, is really leading you to somewhere that's going to give you a deeper sense of empowerment. But also, you know, along with it, it levels us. It brings us humility. And that's really powerful as well, because when we need to access emotions of compassion or forgiveness or understanding, which sometimes can be hard to come by, you know, then this is the type of journey that we take to enable that to happen. Now, the support system is here, right? We've got the Three of Coins above the Empress. That maternal line energy is very strong. Do you need to inner parent yourself from that capacity? Is there a strong female energy that's showing you and helping you and guiding you? Reach out to the people that feel like they are on your level. I think you've got important conversations, but I also just think you've got something to say that has depth and that has meaning. And that has a huge impact in terms of what you're trying to resolve. Because the thing about October is there's this energy that's compelling, but it's coming in because it's trying to resolve whatever is not in balance. Right? So we have our full moon in Aries arriving on the 17th. Venus is also shifting into Sagittarius. So we have this double dose of fire, you know, coming through. And it's a powerful time to regain any confidence that feel like it's been a bit wayward. And to also just kind of, I suppose, remind you that, you know, you have what it takes, is what I want to say. Like, you literally have what it takes. And I think that there's this sort of almost plan that's already revealing itself, and you're just doing what it is that you need to do to kind of get on board with that plan. Like, you're aware of it, and perhaps you're sort of feeling, I'm not quite ready, I'm not quite ready. But there's something about that Aries moon that puts a really initiating cardinal energy to say, okay, yes, the time is now. At the same time, it's a full moon, so there's a release asked for. This is why I'm saying we have to surrender. And I think, you know, you've got this sort of, how is this going to work? Will this work? Like, that's what I have coming from you around this kind of Aries moon. And remember, people can get quite frustrated and things can go from zero to hero. And we've still got that influence of Lilith, you know, working in a way actually to help us step fully into our power. But she does it through the shadow, right? Which means that it's all through the provocation of what is most uncomfortable and what triggers us. But then in the resolving or the acknowledging of that, we then become more, and we step up and we step in to kind of fill the shoes of how we've grown. And I think that can be super important. As you feel into how things are moving, perhaps at times a pace out with your control, or at times like you just feel like, I don't know where I'm going. Maybe there's a slight sense of feeling a bit lost, or a bit like, is this even right? I don't even know, but I feel like I'm just on this journey and I'm being carried, I'm being taken. I think, you know, October is an intense experience in that way, but at the same time, it's also dropping these jewels all along the path to say, hey, you're all right. You're all right. Like, this is where we're going. This is where we're heading. Just, you know, keep it together, like keep focused, hold a vision, believe in yourself, and, you know, keep looking with your head up for the validation, not only from yourself, but just the way in which the universe is showing you that this season, even if it feels at times like it's kind of forcing and pushing and coercing and controlling all sorts of things that are uncomfortable and overwhelming, actually has your back, right? Now, if you're new to the channel, our last 3 cards we're going to look at in the extended reading. You can find the link in the comment section below. We'll talk about a personal question, a relationship card, and go deeper into this month ahead for you. I'm just going to go ahead and clarify these cards, right? See what they want to add to the conversation for the extended. So just beginning with a 2 of Cups. Now, 10 of Cups, lovely. We have a Tower. Okay, I just want to talk about my new journal. which is coming out and will be here in November. The pre-orders are open right now, so you can get some really good offers, including a reading with me. There's still a few left if you want to check that out over on my website, romywiser.com. This is completing my trilogy of the deck and the book, and it's really something I think you don't have in your collection. You know, I've really thought through and been given guidance that this is more like a soul Bible. You know, it complements your existing planners and diaries. Beautiful Ace of Cups, Hermit, like that. And it's a way to kind of like have this beautiful companion that you can return to over and over again. It holds so much of your outpouring and your knowledge and wisdom and learning and experience through your spiritual journey. So please take a moment to go and see if it's resonating and take advantage of the offers before it comes out next month. Okay, what was that one? Another Death, Three of Swords. Okay, endings just can be painful, right? There's no way to sugarcoat that, and yet I actually quite like the Three of Swords in a reading, because so often I think there's confusion and there's challenge just around accessing emotion or breaking through of something, and when it shows up I just think, oh, there we go, there's the truth, there's the release, you know, we get to that level. Right, we're going to have a look at Life Soul Vision Oracle. So this is my deck. Let's see how it's going to add to this for you. All the decks are always listed, guys. Coded footprints, sacral energy, detours from the divine. That's showing up a lot. You know, eclipse season is often bringing about these surprises, unexpected events, shifts in our trajectory. Often things are coming through in threes. Detours from the divine and spirit stag, heavenly timing. There's definitely something going on in terms of rerouting or shifting or changing of timelines for you. A couple more oracles. Let's have a look, Virgo. For the extended, what do we have for the month of October? I think there can also be an excitement, you know, scavenge we have, okay. There's an excitement about this month, and I think that Chariot, along with the sacral energy, creative charge, like I'm also feeling this rising, right, this is it, now or never, I'm doing it. So, you know, it's not, it's always like simultaneous, isn't it? Endings, beginnings, and breakthroughs, but you know, you are getting this moment of just being given access to the energy that you need. That's beautiful. Look, you've got light, the angelic realm. This is the time traveler's oracle. I really love that, especially through October. Divinely protected, but also accessing the wisdom, the healing, the solace, the light from the angelic realm. Thank you for being here. I hope you'll join me on the extended. Please go check out my new Life Soul Vision journal. All the details over on romywiser.com. I'm going to see you again next month.